Mr. Chancellor, it is a great honour to welcome here today Jonathan Kendrick. Jonathan Kendrick is chairman of the ROKiT Group of Companies, which covers a wide range of interests from telecoms and technology to e-bikes and animation. Born in Wolverhampton, Jonathan was expelled from school age 15 with no qualifications. That only goes to show that early setbacks are no bar to future success. And for Jonathan, that later success was considerable. He rose through the ranks at Goodyear to become a tyre engineer for Formula One teams. And then, among his many achievements, Jonathan built a highly successful telecoms company, and his ROKiT Foundation has been a committed backer of many charitable causes, including support for British Armed Forces charity Care After Combat. Mr. Chancellor, for his outstanding contribution to digital communications, industry, and education, it is my great pleasure to present Mr. Jonathan Kendrick for the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa.
Good morning. It's rather hot, so do you mind if I take this off? Thank you. I was hoping to keep the fact I was expelled sort of confidential, but that's blown in now. As I say, my name is Jonathan Kendrick. I'd like to thank the Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor and everybody at this wonderful university for this honour. It's very humbling. I've never received anything in my life like this, so I'm deeply thankful. Thank you very much. I'm amazed and again in awe of all your students and the qualifications you've got. It's quite amazing. And with my background, which I'll briefly tell you, it might be a little bit of interest. I'll make it short. I was born, as they say, in Wolverhampton. That's in the West Midlands. Those of you that don't know, it's very much like Bolton, but without the glamour. And I was born in a council house. I was expelled when I was 15. I'm dyslexic. I think that accounted for it. And I've never took an exam in my life, which I am a little bit ashamed of for my children. I don't tell them that very often. So, unemployed. I'd lost my parents when I was 16, and I talked my way into a job at Goodyear Tires in Wolverhampton. It had the biggest tire factory outside of America. It employed 5,000 people. I managed to get a very low job, a dog's body in the racing division, when I was 17. And through sheer hard work and nothing else, which is a theme that I'll come on to a little bit more, I managed to really go up the ranks. For 3 years, I never went to the pub, I never went to a restaurant, I never ate out, I never went to any parties. I didn't even date for 3 years. I was so focused on trying to make my life something. It culminated when I was 21. I became the youngest Formula One tyre engineer on engineering Formula One cars with literally no qualifications, just by experience. I left when I was 22, formed my own company with £400. That's all I'd got. And I went round as many tyre companies, persuading them, trying to get into motor racing to increase their brand. I failed on every single one but one. And that's another theme of my little speech. And that was a lovely little tyre company that was unknown in 1979 called Yokohama. I designed and bought all their racing tyres in, and we became so successful that at the age of 24, I became a millionaire, totally unqualified. The bad news is, at the age of 28, I lost a lot and had to start again and sell it back to the Japanese at a pittance. Because I'd learnt to finance things very differently, I created a finance company, And in 1990, I became another millionaire when I was 35. Turnover was over 120 million in those days. The recession came, I lost the lot. Twice. Shows what an idiot I am. My wife said, "You'll never lose it again." I went to Russia just as the wall had fallen down, got arrested 9 times for reasons we won't go into, and again, made my fortune back. So about 1995, I invented a way of selling prepaid cards for your mobile phone electronically. I sold that to BT Cellnet, sold it to Western Union, and retired in 1998 for 6 months, because my wife said, "You've got to get out the house." So I formed a new company, but this time she, cleverly, owns everything, because she said, "You're never going to lose it again." I am the poorest man in this auditorium because I don't own anything. She owns the lot, and I've never lost it, and this is my 3rd fortune. She trusts me enough now where she's given me a set of keys to the house, which was quite nice. Anyway, but the reason for those stories are that the secret to success, I believe, and I know a lot of successful people in a lot of areas, comes down to 2 things. And I think I'm a living example of that. Hard work, really hard work. You've got to work harder than the next guy. The second secret to success is do not be afraid to fail. There's nothing wrong with failure. Failure is not failing. It's one of life's learning tools. I've failed more than anybody, and I can tell you a lot of entrepreneurs have failed many, many times. Nothing wrong with that. Winston Churchill said, the secret of success is going from failure to failure with no lack of enthusiasm. So failure is a good thing. That's my little story. I'll leave you with one saying that I wake up every morning to, and I keep telling myself this, particularly when I'd lost my 2nd fortune, is successful people do what unsuccessful people are not prepared to do. Thank you very much.